Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be talking about the coming New World Order and what you need to know. Because the globalists, for years, have been working on, for decades, centuries, working on a one world government. What their main objective is to crash the United States dollar and to collapse the currency. So they can bring in, because what they want is a one world currency, world government, world religion, you name it. So let's get into this. The coming New World Order, what you need to know. So, I'm going to discuss the organizations, the Bilderbergs. They meet every year in different parts of the world and they discuss policy, secretly. They plan financial crisis, oil prices, you name it. Who's going to be president? Because so many people think if they go vote, that they're going to be the ones that are going to be voting in whoever, but that's not true. Because back in 2008, there was a Bilderberg meeting in West Virginia. Guess who was present at the Bilderberg meeting? Obama and Hillary Clinton. And who became president that year? President Obama. Who became Secretary of State? Hillary Clinton. And all these people that don't know anything at all about these shadow families that are working on a world government, thinking that they voted in Obama when in actually reality they did not. They're already elected. It's just a deception to make people think. You see, there's no more freedom, there's no more any of that stuff. Even Kissinger said it. He said Obama's task is to develop an overall strategy for America and the world. Because they asked him, what about all the upheavals in the world? What will his task be? Because like you have the jihadist movement, you have what's happening in Pakistan, India, etc. He said his real task is to create a new world order. It's not just a crisis, but it's a unique opportunity where really a new world order can emerge. But the truth of the matter is, they've been working at this for years. Let me read this to you. Back in 1950, February 7, this is what in James Warburg, this is what he had to say. Listen to this. We shall have world government, rather or not we like it. The only question is whether world government will be affected by conquest or consent. Paul Warburg speaking to the United States, February 17th, 1950. We shall have world government, whether they like it or not, but the question is either by consent or by conquest. We're going to have this world government, whether the people like it or not, even if we have to force it. We're going to do it. And that's exactly what's going to happen, because this is all Bible prophecy coming to pass. God showed this to King Nebuchadnezzar in the book of Daniel, chapter 2, with the image that he saw. He saw the empires. The head of gold was Babylon. The two chest sides of arms were the Medes and the Persians. The belly and thighs of brass was Greece. And the long length of iron was Rome. And on the 10 toes on the image is the revived Roman Empire. Even in Daniel 7, verse 24 or 23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be a fourth kingdom, which shall be on the earth. It shall be diverse from all others, and it shall devour the whole world, trample it, and break it in pieces. Even in Revelation chapter 13, verse 7, it says, and authority was given him over every tribe, tongue, people, and nation. A single body that's going to be in control over everything on the world. Like there's countless documents. They have an earth charter saying that we need to come together just for the sake of the environment. Isn't that nice? It's all deception, my friends. They're going to make it all sound nice, but it's not. For us to have a safer world, we need to become one. We need to forget our differences. We need to put aside our belief difference and so on, and we need to all come together. Let us focus on what's most important, and this is this earth that we are living on. So we all need to come together. They believe if we have a world government, we all become one, we'll no longer be fighting against each other because we're all big, one happy family. But this is a deception. What these politics are doing right now, Satan is using them as his puppets, and they are setting up the Antichrist kingdom. That's what they're doing. So let's talk about the Bilderbergs. This is what it says right here. The Bilderberg Group, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Illuminati, the one world government, and the list goes on and on. Some people know what's behind these names, while a great many others do not. In this article, we will give you a working understanding of what it all means and how these groups are working together and have been for decades to bring about the New World Order. Yeah, listen to this. This is from Obama. Look at this right here. Global citizenship. Look at this. Global citizenship is a very interesting concept. Who I wonder, world a global citizen be subjected to whose law would they follow? Why you would need to have global law and a global government and a global leader? Can you say Antichrist? Global law, everything's going to be changed. They're changing the law everywhere. He shall devour the whole world, trample it, and break it in pieces. Look at this. At West Point, Obama press for a new world order. President Obama on Saturday viewed to press for a new international order that can resolve the challenges of our times and help the United States defeat Al-Qaeda. What a joke. The United States government funded the Al-Qaeda. They created the Al-Qaeda. They created an invisible enemy, okay? They created the Al-Qaeda. President Bush was best friends with the Osama bin Laden family. He gave them the weapons. He gave them everything. 9/11 was an inside job. The government needed a crisis so they can bring in all these other things. Look after what happened after 9/11. Everything changed. Now you go to the airports, you get pat-downs, you get everything. This was all planned out. 9/11 was an inside job that the elite needed. So many people were warned ahead of time about it. You name it. This is a bunch of bull. This is what the media does. They work through deception and manipulation. Because they said people will react differently in a time of panic. That they would never accept things if they would. In a time of crisis, the impossible is possible. You can do things that you couldn't do. So this is a bunch of bull. They created the Al-Qaeda, okay? The CIA, you name it. To help the United States defeat Al-Qaeda and the other threats to freedom. Yeah, right. You think you're going to have freedom in a new world order? Go tell your lies to somebody else. This is total enslavement, people. Delivering the command speech at the U.S. military strategy at the West Point, Obama tricked off a list of lower goals this new order could accomplish, from combating violent extremes to stopping the spread of nuclear weapons to stemming climate change. That's another lie. It's just hilarious to read. There's no such thing as climate change, okay, guys? You see how they changed it from global warming to climate change? Al Gore is the biggest fraud, the biggest con man out there, because there's no such thing as climate change. They put this fear on the people so they can control what type of gas you can put in your car. They can seize your property. They can seize whatever. This is all that it's about, is control. They're going for global control, people. Don't believe the lies of the media. Climate change and instituting global growth. Yeah. Here it is. While saying he was clear-eyed about the soft files of the international system that has led many critics of the United Nations and other institutions to abandon mission, Obama said the United States would move ahead on a policy of national reward and global leadership. Global leadership. Look at that. Global. That's talking about global. Now here's another guy, David Rockefeller. It's just incredible. People need to realize that this is for real, okay? This is not a joke. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Do your own research, please, okay? Because this is what's going on. This is what's happening. Do your research. There's countless documents. These people are coming out in the open. They don't really care anymore. because they have accomplished so much. And by the way, it's all Bible prophecy anyways, and God's word is always 100% accurate. This is going to happen as if it already happened. So this is what David Rockefeller has to say. Listen to this. David Rockefeller, long accused of being a shell for the New World Order in his memoir, finally tired of the feast and admitted what he had been accused of for many decades when he said this about his family's involvement in the New World Order. Okay, here it is. Here we go. Some even believe we are part of a secret capital working against the best interest of the United States. Characteristics. My family and me as internationalists and of conspiring with others around the world to build a more legal, global, political, economic structure, one world, if you will. If that is the charge, I stand guilty and I am proud of it. Really, you're proud of it? David Rockefeller from his book. You know what he also said? He's calling for the destruction of the United States sovereignty. This is what this guy is doing. He's a criminal. These people should be charged for treason. Here's another one. George Bush. Back in 1991. It's a big idea. A New World Order. It goes on and on. Let me read this to you. Let me see here. What is this here? As you can see, the New World Order did not start with Barack Obama. He is merely the latest poster boy for the project. Many other presidents have done a lot of the log work as well, but there was one president who let the act of the bang the instruction of modern times to the term. Look at this. President George Herbert Walker Bush, September 11th, 1991. All hail the New World Order. It's just incredible. This is what he had to say. A speech by George H.W. Bush, President of the United States, given to the German season of the United States Congress, Washington, D.C., on September 11th, 1990. This is what he said. Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, members of the Congress, distraction quotes, fellow Americans, thanks very much for that warm welcome. We gather tonight to witness to events in the Persian Gulf as significant as they are tragic. In the early morning hours of August 2nd, following the end promises by Iraq destruction, Saddam Hussein not to use force, a powerful Iraq army invaded its trusting and much weaker Nate. Within the 3 days, Iraq troops, tanks, had poured out into the move south. Okay, I want to see where he's calling for the New World Order here. Okay, here it is right here. Look at this. This is just crazy. A new partnership of nations has begun, and we stand today at a unique and exorbitant moment. The crisis in the Persian Gulf, as grave as it also offers a rare opportunity to move toward a historical period of cooperation. Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order, can emerge. A new era, free from the threat of terror, stronger in the pursuit of justice, and more secure in the quest for peace. An era in which the nations of the world, east and west, north and south, can prepare and live in harmony. Wow. Okay, I'm going to play this video of him. I'm not going to be sure if you guys are going to be able to hear it, but I want to play it anyway, just in case. Okay, it's only 3 minutes and 19 seconds. Let's see if you guys can hear this. This is coming from George Bush, the father. Okay. Remarks in Congress, September 11th, 1991.
Until now, the world we've known has been a world divided, world of barbed wire and concrete blocks, conflict.
No, I think it's too. The volume's too low for you guys to hear this, so I'll just read it here again, because it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. It's just crazy. This is an historical moment. We have this past year, great programs in ending the long era of conflict in the Cold War. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which the incredible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders. Wow. It's just crazy. Amazing stuff. In one fall swoop, George Bush 41 instantly confirms the worst fears of conspiracy theorists around the world by putting on the tablet what had been a current secret for decades. Many think that was part of the plan as well, to slowly instruct the public to the idea of the New World Order, and dozens them to buy it. To by all accounts, it appears to be working. Now, the North American Union. This is just incredible. They want to unite Canada, U.S., and Mexico into one, because that's what they're doing, okay? The Bilderbergs, their first goal was met, and that was to create a United States of Europe, and they were successful. Next was the Asian Union, an African Union, and they've done it. And next is the North American Union. That's why they're creating a NAFTA highway. You guys can check all this stuff up. The North American Union is just crazy. But before I get into this North American Union, I want to read another quote from David Rockefeller. Even the media is on this, ladies and gentlemen. The media is in on this. Look at this. David Rockefeller thanking the Washington Post, New York Times, you name it. Let me read it to you. More New World Order quotes from David Rockefeller. Here we go. We are grateful to the Washington Post, New York Times, Time Magazine, and other great publications whose directors have attended our meetings and respected their promises of discretion for almost 40 years. It would have been impossible for us to develop our plan for the world if we had been subjected to the light of publicity during those years. But the world is now more sophisticated and prepared to march toward a world government. You see that? The supernatural sovereignty of an elite and world bankers is surely preferable to the national past culture. David Rockefeller, June 19th, 1991, Bilderberg meeting in Erden, Germany. He said this in Germany, okay? This is what's going on, people. Now, let's get into the North American Union here. Don't take my word for this, okay, guys? You guys can think whatever you want to think. Do your own research, okay? That's what I'm telling you guys, to do your own research here. Supposed by the Council on Foreign Relations in associating with the Canadian Council of the Chief Executive and the Council of Mexico, and it goes on. North America is valuable on several fronts. The relation faces terrorists and criminal security threatens increased economic from abroad under economic developments at home in response to these critical tremors. The independent text, Force on the Future of North America, has developed a roadmap to promote a North American security advise the well-being of citizens of all three countries. When the leaders of Canada, Mexico, and the United States met in Texas recently, they underscored the deep ties and shared principles of the three countries. The Council responded, France appeared the announcement, Security and Prosperity Partnership of North America, but purpose a more essential vision of a North American community. Yeah, but this is old. By 2010. You see, it didn't happen yet. By 2010. But they're still on it. They're still working on this. Specific recommends on how to effect it. Because they're not going to stop, okay, guys? They're not going to stop until they have absolute control. Like I said before, it's Bible prophecy. It's going to happen. There's coming a world government. Okay, the tax force purpose is certain by 2010. Okay. Establish a common security partnership. And they have a dollar here. Look at this. It says Union of North America. It's just crazy. The New World Order will include a united North America. The plans for this are already well underway. The North American Currency Union is the economic monetary union of the North American countries, Canada, the United States, and Mexico. Map of a theological NATO with Canada, Mexico, and the United States world involved. The three countries giving up their current currency, U.S. dollar, Canadian dollar, and the Mexican peso something, and adopting a new one created specific for this purpose. Some versions of the theory, those claiming in Canada, assume only the United States and Canada would be included. The hypercurrency for the Union is most often referred as the Amero. The consent is modeled on the common European Union currency, the euro, and it's argued to, and it goes on and on and on. I already have videos about the North American Union. You guys got to type it in, the North American Union. So, coming to an end, now you know the plan. As you can clearly see by the evidence presented here, that there is an organized and motivated plan in place to reduce the countries of the world to a few small common areas. All of Europe is being crumbled into the European Union. Their Asian Union is being formed with the African Union. Up next on the calendar, the CFR's plan to create the North American Union of Mexico, America, and Canada is all but a done deal. When it is finished, there will be a world government which will then by necessary require a world leader. Can you say Antichrist? A world dictator. This is coming, people. This is for real. People need to understand that this is actually what is going on. This is not a joke. When God says something, it's going to happen precisely. And these prophecies were given over 2,000 years ago, and they're happening in our very time, in our day and age. This is taking place. And that's how you know that God and God alone is God. He is who He claims to be. Because He's done what nobody else has been able to ever do before. And that is to predict the future before it happens. And Bible prophecy is pre-recorded history before it happens. And we see it all coming about exactly as God said it would. Right here, look. The Bible long ago in the book of Revelation of Jesus Christ to the Apostle John saw this day coming, and it is now almost here. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his authority, and his seat, and great authority. Great authority. One other thing you need to know is this: that this brave new world will have a calling card, and everyone will be forced to either accept it or pay the price. Talking about the mark of the beast. What is it called, you wonder? The Bible calls it the mark of the beast. To read about the mark of the beast is being developed and entering into society even as we speak. And now I have told you before it comes to pass, that when it comes to pass, you might believe. You may believe. It's just incredible, ladies and gentlemen. This is what's taking place. This is what people need to realize, that this is not a joke, okay? This is what's taking place. They've been planning it. They wrote books on it, 1984 by George Orwell. Where the government, imagine back then, the book is called 1984 by George Orwell, but that book was originally written in 1948, where the government knows your thoughts, it knows everything you're going to do. They have microphones hanging from the trees. Like, we're beyond that time right now. Total surveillance. We are in a surveillance nightmare, and this is just the beginning. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Total control, because they want to go into biometrics, where they're getting rid of cash, going into a cashless society where everybody's going to have a digital thumb scan to travel. It's all prophecy. The Bible says there's coming a cashless society, and yet they're conditioning people that it's a good thing. And very few people today use cash. Most people use their credit cards, debit cards, Visa cards, you name it. Very few people use cash. And they're going to make it sound nothing but good that we have to eliminate cash altogether to stop crime, prostitution, fraud, you name it. We're living in exciting times, brothers and sisters. But just the fact that we are this close to the arrival of the Antichrist, and the Antichrist cannot be revealed until an event called the rapture of the church takes place. So if we're this close to the arrival of the Antichrist, and the rapture takes place before that, how much closer must we be to the rapture of the church? We are very, 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 very close. This is exactly what the Bible told us would happen, and yet it's happening right before our very eyes. Everything today is globalism. We need to come together for the greater good, for humanity, and so on and so on. It's a bunch of bull. They said that's the only way we can establish peace, if we set up a world government. And who in the world is not in for a good environment? So why don't we all just become global citizens? This is going to lead up to a 7-year nightmare, people. This is going to be the beginning of the time of Jacob's trouble, when this global leader comes on the scene and he marks the 7-year peace treaty. But all this stuff happens after the rapture of the church has taken place. We Christians that have placed our faith and trust in Jesus Christ will not be here for this time, because this is clearly the 70th week of Daniel, and specifically for Israel, and for God to put a complete end of all the Gentile nations. It's God dealing with the rebellion of sin on earth. It has nothing to do with the church whatsoever. When we're not opponent to wrath, we're to be looking for Jesus, etc. So anyways, brothers and sisters, just keep looking up, because Jesus is coming back. We are living in exciting times, so keep looking up. Jesus is coming very, very soon. And this is all I got to say, and God bless you all. God bless.